welcome to this session in the European Commission's Research and Innovation Days conference, dedicated to how we build back better following the COVID crisis. My name is Patrick Child. I'm Deputy Director General in DG Research and Innovation, and it's my huge pleasure to introduce this session. And what we're going to explore is the huge opportunities that the Next Generation EU post-COVID recovery strategy, the green and digital transition, offers us to develop and reform our research and innovation systems. And as President van der Leyen travels around the European Union visiting all member states, I think it's an excellent moment for us to drill down into some of these issues. And the good news that is that research and innovation is present in all of the 6 main pillars of our recovery and resilience facility, whether it's the green transition, the digital transformation, smart and sustainable inclusive growth, cohesion, health and socio-economic resilience, as well as policies for the future. And in order to introduce this session, I'm delighted that we've got 2 really high-level speakers who are at the heart of the political process on recovery and resilience in the European Union and how it affects our research and innovation policies. So firstly, we have our Commissioner, Maria Gabriel, who is responsible in the Commission for Innovation, Culture, Research, Education and Youth. And we're also joined from Rome by Minister Roberto Cingolani, who is the Minister for Ecological Transition and who is leading the work in the Italian government on their recovery and resilience plan. And so without further ado, I would like to hand over to the Commissioner with a question, which is, do you think, Commissioner, from what we've seen of the recovery and resilience plans prepared by our member states, that they are doing enough in those plans to take forward the agenda on research and innovation? Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Patrick. Well, I would like to start by saying again that research and innovation plays a crucial role in Europe's recovery by ensuring that we transition to a more resilient, sustainable and inclusive society. Now, it's true that for years we are lagging behind from some of our major trade partners, such as United States, South Korea or Japan, and we didn't reach the 3% of the R&D target. Our R&D intensity is 2.2% of our GDP, and yes, most, if not all, European member states need to increase their R&I investments and recovery and resilience facility. These plans constitute a unique opportunity to advance Europe's R&I agenda, to design and implement much needed, although difficult reforms, backed up by adequate funding. About your question, Patrick, we can be cautiously optimistic about the focus and action on research and innovation in the recovery and resilience plans. Indeed, our analysis shows that member states have allocated between 4 and 13% of the RRF grants to R&I, and this represents quite promising and in many cases significant R&I investments and reforms. In terms of investments, member states will mobilize more than 35 billion euros in R&I investments. This represents more than 1/3 of Horizon Europe funding. It will provide a substantial boost. Those countries that lag in their R&I investments have been particularly bold. In many instances, the proposed investments represents more than the total amount of public R&D funding these countries invest in 1 year. This is particularly the case of countries such as Croatia and Slovakia, for example. Here I would like to say that it's important to highlight the directionality of these investments and their contribution to accelerate towards climate neutrality and digital leadership. Let me mention a few examples. We have seen many investments in green hydrogen, renewable energy and circular economy as part of the green transformation component. For example, the Portuguese recovery and resilience plans envisages investments of 185 million euros in green hydrogen. The Spanish recovery and resilience plan will invest nearly 4 billion euros in developing innovative renewable energy sources integrated into buildings and industrial production processes. In terms of reforms, it is fundamental to ensure the efficiency, effectiveness, and impact of the increased investments. Many measures are geared towards improving Europe's research and innovation landscape by focusing on training and research careers, strengthening business science linkages, and boosting private innovation capacity. For example, Slovakia plans to reform its school curriculum to make it fit for the digital transition and more relevant for the higher education. Italy puts specific focus on STEM education and girls as part of their 26 billion euros reform in education and labor market reform. Latvia's plan foresees earmarked funding for business investment support schemes, while Denmark's plan introduces a temporary increase of R&I tax deductibility for all companies to incentivize green innovation. So indeed, I feel optimistic, and we need to stay mobilized because, yes, the recovery and resilience plans will clearly be a crucial milestone to strengthen many member states' R&I systems, but for these investments and reforms to have a profound impact, they will need to be implemented swiftly and in smart combination with Horizon Europe partnerships, missions, as well with the national research and innovation programs. Because yes, our citizens need to see results in their daily lives, in their surroundings, and you can count on us. We'll be there to support all these processes and to support every step of the way.
Commissioner, thank you very much indeed for this optimistic message, but also thank you for sharing with us some of the very encouraging examples that we're seeing emerging through member states' national recovery and resilience plans in support of the reform agenda, the investments, and the synergies with European Union programs that research and innovation offers in this green and digital post-COVID transition strategy. And so now I'm very happy that we're going to have the opportunity to go over to one of the member states most active in this work, and we're going to hear from Minister Cingolani. And I'd like to ask you, Minister, the question of the importance of research and innovation in Italy's national recovery and resilience plan and how it fits more broadly into your post-COVID strategy. Over to you, Minister.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for this opportunity to talk about what we're doing in Italy at the moment. This is a very exciting time for the country and for Europe. We're launching the Next Generation EU programs, and within the National Recovery Plan, Italy is going to make a big effort over the next 5 years to develop a combined strategy that involves the ecological transition on one side, the digital transformation of the country, the creation of new infrastructure, a program for cohesion and a just society, and another program for education, research, development and creation of new research infrastructures, and finally a large-scale investment on health to digitize the public health system. Now, with specific emphasis on the ecological transition, we plan to develop four mainstream lines. The first one is about circular economy. That is creating a very advanced waste cycle system and investing a lot on circular agriculture, agriculture and food being one of the excellences of this country. The second streamline has to do with the energetic transition. We need to decarbonize the country and we need to decarbonize the world, as you know, and following the very challenging targets of the Paris Agreement. We have to electrify mobility. We have to quickly accomplish a hydrogen technology, especially to transform the hard-to-abate industrial sectors. We need to create a number of infrastructures, including the smart grid, because we plan to increase substantially the fraction of renewable energy that the country produces. Just to give you an idea, we plan to reach 72% of the global electricity produced in the country by renewable sources by the year 2030, and this is a gigantic effort. The third streamline will be efficiency in the building. Italy is a very historical country with a very dense population, and having large and improved efficiency in the public and private buildings is mandatory to save energy and, of course, to pollute less and less our environment. And finally, there will be a fourth streamline about nature, land, forests, sea, rivers, lakes, atmosphere. This will be a massive effort to protect our environment, and especially Italy, having a large hydrogeological risk, needs a lot of maintenance in terms of land and sea and waters. Now, everything I told you will involve tens of thousands of people developing new technology, creating new infrastructure from digital to chemical to mobility. But you understand, all the plan is done for the time being, thinking to a sort of invariant technology landscape. But of course, we know this is not true. Today, we make our forecast, but we need to be surprised by the curiosity-driven research. I mean, I myself, I've been 35 years in research, so you understand how much I trust the idea that research will be the real driver, innovation will be the real driver of the transformation to accomplish the challenging target that we have for the decarbonisation of the planet. So there would be no next generation EU program without advanced research. And I think that the real good new solutions will come from new research. This will be the engine of the transformation. The recovery plan and the next generation EU will benefit of any new idea that young generation will develop. And I'm sure that thanks to those new ideas, we still don't know, we're waiting for new ideas, we will see this revolution to be faster and faster. We will be ready to update and to even to change the plan as soon as new ideas, new technology will be produced. This is how humanity has been developing over millennia, and this is even more important now in these decades to accomplish the very, very important targets of the Paris Agreement. So enjoy, and really I wish you very, very good work in research.
Minister, thank you very much for your inspiring remarks and for your passionate support for the important contribution that research and innovation will make in all of our post-COVID recovery and resilience strategies. And we look forward to working with you on further developing the costings of your proposals and their subsequent implementation. I'd also like to thank very much the Commissioner for her inspiring remarks, which I think have very well set the scene for our next sessions. At 11 o'clock, we're going to have 5 parallel sessions going more into detail in this whole area of the challenge of how next generation EU, how our research and innovation agendas can contribute to the recovery and resilience post-COVID green and digital transition strategies. And we've got the topics are going to be, firstly, how do we support member states in prioritizing research and innovation investments and reforms in their post-COVID recovery plans? How research and innovation can support low-carbon industrial transformation and reduce emissions in support of our climate goals. A third topic on the Horizon Europe missions, and in particular the mission devoted to oceans, which will help us in an important dimension of recovery of the seas and waterways to their natural state. The role of the regions in the recovery. We will not achieve the transitions we need without a large mobilization of actors at all levels across the European Union, and I'm particularly excited about that session, which builds on work we've done also with the Committee of the Regions earlier in the week. And finally, there will be a session on the new Bauhaus initiative, a cornerstone project announced by President Ursula von der Leyen during her State of the Union speech last September, and which in the meantime with our colleagues in the Joint Research Centre we've been actively supporting as a real beacon of research and innovation in the post-COVID recovery. So I think in conclusion, I'd like to thank again all of you for watching. Thanks to the Commissioner, thanks to the Minister, and really look forward to taking forward these discussions on key questions for the future of the European Union through the next session and in the remainder of our Research and Innovation Days conference in the coming hours. Thank you very much for your attention.
Research and innovation is, of course, absolutely crucial to the recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. That is for sure. This topic will be covered in the 5 breakout sessions now to follow. We are going to be talking about partnering with member states, Recover, the Recovery and Resilience Task Force, the European Commission on Oceans, Mission on Oceans, Seas and Waters, regions and local authorities at the forefront of recovery, and finally, the new Bauhaus initiative. What shall we retain? What will the response to COVID-19 show in terms of the value of scientific research and innovation? The EU is united behind an ambitious recovery plan that is going to be digital, green and sustainable, and aims to deliver full decarbonisation by 2050. Now, you may have spotted that these wonderful TV studios around me resemble the Bauhaus style, and that is not by accident. We wanted to try and pay homage to the Bauhaus. The new Bauhaus initiative of the European Commission, of course, aims to combine design, sustainability, accessibility, affordability and investment to help the European Green Deal. Stay tuned. I'll be back at 11, and don't forget, keep refreshing the event page.